There's a moment in your life when you realize something terrifying, something that shakes you to your core. You've been waiting for the world to treat you better, waiting for people to respect you, waiting for someone to see your worth, but they don't. Not because you aren't worthy, not because you don't deserve respect, but because you haven't given it to yourself first. The way you let the world treat you. The world watches you. It listens to the way you speak about yourself. It notices the way you carry yourself, the way you react when you're mistreated, the way you shrink when you should stand tall, and then it follows your lead. If you let people walk over you, they will. If you stay quiet when someone disrespects you, they will do it again. If you keep accepting less than you deserve, that's exactly what you'll get. Because the truth is, people learn how to treat you based on how you treat yourself. So, the real question isn't why the world doesn't respect you. The question is, do you respect yourself? What self-respect really means. Self-respect is not arrogance. It's not pride. It's not an excuse to look down on others or act as if you're better than them. Self-respect is knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone convince you otherwise. It's saying no when something doesn't serve you. It's walking away from people who drain your energy. It's setting boundaries and not apologizing for them. It's looking in the mirror and deciding no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter how many times you've fallen, you are still worthy of love, kindness, and success. Because if you don't believe it, no one else will. The lies you tell yourself. But here's the problem. You've been programmed to believe certain lies. Maybe someone told you that you're not good enough. Maybe they made you feel like you'll never amount to anything, that your voice doesn't matter, that your dreams are just silly fantasies. And somewhere along the way, you believed them. You started treating yourself the way they treated you. You became your own biggest critic, your own worst enemy. You let the world tell you who you are instead of deciding for yourself. And now you sit in silence, waiting for respect, waiting for love, waiting for someone to show you that you are worth something. But respect doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who demand it, not from others, but from themselves first. Demanding more from yourself. If you want respect, start with this. Stop settling. Stop settling for friends who don't value you. Stop settling for relationships that make you feel small. Stop settling for a life that doesn't excite you. Look at your life right now. Are you proud of it? Are you proud of the way you speak to yourself, the way you treat your own body, your own mind, your own soul? Because self-respect isn't just about how others treat you. It's about how you treat yourself. Do you keep your promises to yourself? Or do you tell yourself you'll do better and then fall back into the same destructive habits? Do you protect your time and energy, or do you give it away to people who don't deserve it? Do you fight for your dreams, or do you let fear keep you stuck in the same place year after year? Because if you don't respect your time, your energy, your worth, why would anyone else? The power of walking away. There is nothing more powerful than a person who knows they don't have to stay where they are not valued. You don't have to beg for respect. You don't have to convince people to treat you right. You just have to walk away from anything that doesn't honor you. That's it. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to waste your energy trying to make someone see your worth. You just need to respect yourself enough to leave. And yes, it will be hard. It will be painful. Because the people who benefited from your lack of self-respect will not want you to change. They will try to guilt you, manipulate you, make you feel like you're the one who's wrong. Ignore them. Because the moment you stop begging for respect and start demanding it through your actions, everything will change. The wrong people will disappear. The right people will show up. And most importantly, You will start to see yourself the way you were always meant to. Respect yourself now, not later. You don't have to wait. You don't have to become better before you start treating yourself with the respect you deserve. You don't have to reach a certain level of success, or look a certain way, or fix all your flaws before you decide you are worthy. You are worthy now, right here, right in this moment. And the second you start acting like it, the world will follow. That's the thing about self-respect. Once you claim it, you never see the world the same way again. You stop chasing people who never look back at you. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop giving second chances to those who only deserved one. And something incredible happens. You start attracting different people, different opportunities, a different energy. Not because the world suddenly became kinder, not because people magically started respecting you, but because you changed. Because now you refuse to tolerate what you once accepted. You refuse to let people take advantage of you. You refuse to let yourself settle for less than what you know you deserve. And that is the moment everything shifts. The test of loneliness. But here's what they don't tell you about self-respect. It gets lonely when you finally stand up for yourself. Some people won't like it. They'll say you've changed. They'll call you selfish. They'll make you feel guilty for putting yourself first. And for a while, you might feel like you're losing everything. But listen to me. Losing people who don't respect you is not a loss. Let them go. Let them whisper. Let them judge. Let them misunderstand you. Because the right people, the ones who truly value you, they will never be threatened by your self-respect. Respect yourself enough to say no. You've spent your whole life saying yes to things that drained you. Yes, to people who took more than they gave. Yes, to situations that made you feel small. Yes, to expectations that were never your own. But self-respect means learning one powerful, life-changing word: number. No, you won't accept less than you deserve. No, you won't be available every time someone needs you. No, you won't lower your standards to make others comfortable, because your time is valuable, your energy is sacred, your life is yours. And if something doesn't align with your peace, your growth, your worth, you walk away. No explanations, no apologies, no guilt, just self-respect, the freedom of choosing yourself. The world will try to make you feel like you need its approval. It will tell you that if you're not liked, if you're not accepted, if you're not chosen, then you don't matter. But let me tell you a secret. You don't need anyone to choose you. You just need to choose yourself. You don't need validation. You don't need permission. You don't need someone else to say, you are worthy. You just need to believe it for yourself. And the day you finally do, that's the day you stop chasing respect, because it will already be yours. The price of self-respect. Self-respect comes with a cost. And that cost, it's discomfort. Because standing up for yourself means breaking habits. It means unlearning patterns that kept you small. It means walking away from people who benefited from your silence. It means choosing yourself even when it hurts. And that's not easy. At first, it feels wrong. It feels selfish. It feels like you're betraying the people who once mattered. But ask yourself, did they ever feel guilty for how they treated you? Did they ever stop to wonder if their words, their actions, their neglect might be hurting you? Or did they just expect you to keep accepting it? Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. Some people will only respect you when you stop tolerating their disrespect. And once you do, some will leave. Some will be angry. Some will try to manipulate you back into your old ways. But don't go back. Because on the other side of that discomfort, That's where your power lives. Your energy is currency. Spend it wisely. You give so much of yourself away without even thinking. To people who drain you. To obligations that exhaust you. To relationships that only take, never give. But here's something you need to remember. Your energy is your most valuable currency. So stop spending it on people who don't deserve it. Stop wasting it on things that don't fulfill you. Stop handing it out like it's endless, because it's not. Your energy is limited. Your time is limited. Your life is limited. So be ruthless with what you allow in. If something isn't bringing you peace, growth, or purpose, cut it off. Because every moment you spend on things that don't serve you, that's a moment stolen from the life you could be building. Becoming unapologetic. Self-respect isn't just about knowing your worth. It's about owning it. And owning your worth means letting go of guilt. Guilt for choosing yourself. Guilt for setting boundaries. Guilt for walking away from people who refuse to change. Because listen to me, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. You don't have to justify why you no longer tolerate certain behaviors. You don't have to convince anyone that you deserve better. You just do. And if someone has a problem with that, that's their problem. Because the people who truly value you, they will never ask you to shrink to make them comfortable. They will never make you feel guilty for putting yourself first. They will never expect you to sacrifice your self-respect for their convenience. And those who do, they were never meant to stay. Respect yourself enough to walk away. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Are you afraid of being alone? Afraid of disappointing people? Afraid of change? Because here's what you need to understand. The only thing worse than losing people is losing yourself. And every time you stay in places that don't honor you, every time you ignore your own needs to please someone else, every time you silence yourself just to keep the peace, you are losing yourself, piece by piece, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who you've become. So walk away, even if it's painful, even if it means starting over, even if it means standing alone for a while. Because the moment you finally choose yourself, that's the moment everything changes. Not because the world will suddenly become easier, but because you will finally know you were never meant to beg for respect. You were meant to demand it.